Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Vixicon. I hope you're all having an awesome week. We are a little bit late this week. I'm filming on Wednesday. This may be uploaded on Wednesday if I get somewhere with stronger internet. If not, it'll probably be up on Thursday because I gave myself the day off for Easter. I normally work at my other business on a Sunday. I have to go into the studio. It's going to be a very busy day, but because it's Easter, I had the day off. What's going on with this bit of hair here? Make our peace with that. I gave myself a day off. I normally film after I come back from my short shift on a Sunday at the studio. So I didn't film because I wasn't at the studio. And then Monday was too crazy, so I couldn't film then. Yesterday got out of hand, so Wednesday, here we are. I've lost my notes. I already started filming this once, and as I was telling the camera that I'd lost my notes out of the corner of my eye, I saw a notepad in a pile of stuff because I have a lot of Doom piles. And so I paused and went to go get it and thought I found it. I had a notepad for different stuff. So never mind, we're just kind of going to go for it because if I don't, the episode's going to be just like over a week late. And that's not okay because I promised myself I would do this every flipping week. And I'm already late. So yeah, that's all that. Although, we'll see how this goes. This may break down into 2 episodes, but there will definitely be a workbook alongside of it. We'll let you know about that via Instagram, etc. And I might put a link on. Actually, no. Yeah, forget that thought. Anyway, so there will be a workbook to go along with this because this is freaking so important. This we're going to do today is the most important thing. One of the most important things you will ever do, in my opinion. Second to therapy, it is one of the most important things you can ever do. Therapy is super important, by the way. Even if you don't think you're insane, I highly recommend going for a couple of sessions with a private therapist because, yeah, it's a good thing to do. But this that we're doing is shadow work, which is linked to our limiting beliefs. And these are all things that keep us stuck in life. A lot of it, unfortunately, isn't even our shit. Yeah. So think of yourself as like a glass. Any kind of glass, doesn't really matter. And when you come into this world, your glass is mostly empty. I say mostly because people talk about you before you even come onto this planet. Like, you know, they'll be like, oh, they'll be so smart, they'll be so brainy, they'll do this, they'll do that, blah, 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 blah. So they're already, like, it's not quite empty. And then you spend your life around people. And you grow up around people and they will tell you things, their own opinions and their own thoughts, and they will be presented to you as facts. And you will absorb that. Then if, you know, God forbid, you have been bullied or in any kind of an emotionally abusive relationship or physical abuse, because that's normally after the emotional abuse, let's not get too into that. It is really, really important you do this shadow work because you are absolutely filled to the brim, not only with other people's opinions, but other people's cruelty and things that are actually absolutely almost definitely not true because that's the kind of weapons these people use, you know. And it can be literally, you know, these thoughts can limit you in so many ways. You know, if you've been told all your life you're lazy, why would you bother getting a gym membership? Oh, I'm lazy. Are you actually lazy? Like, that is something you really need to look into. You know, myself, for instance, I get told a lot, and I have been all my life, that I am too much and that I'm crazy and weird and, like, you know, overexcitable. And all of those things, in a manner, are true, but only true to them because there are other people who find my muchness fucking awesome. As do I, to be fair. So that's a sort of shadow that's actually kind of true, but it's not a bad thing. So there's different levels to this. There's going to be like bullshit that just isn't true. There's going to be shit that is true, but actually isn't a bad thing when you think about it. And then stuff that you've kind of invented yourself from feedback from other people. We are a huge amalgamation of whatever other people have said we are. There are very few people who actually know who they are. And so I'm just going to give you a second to sit with that because I was one of these people. I didn't know who I was, like, because I've been told I was so many things by other people. I never really thought about whether I actually was those things. Me now, compared to who I was like 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, is hugely different because I'm more confident in myself. I understand the things that were in my life that were put there by other people, either through cruelty or just offhanded comments. People say stuff and they don't even realize how hard that will hit somebody inside. And we're all guilty of it. There's probably people wandering around with the echoes of something we've all said in their heads, when they can't sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. That sucks. But we can't do anything to change that. They can only do that. This is kind of part of we can't change other people, we can only change how we react to them. So we need to take a step back and look at these things that are holding us back. Now, there's so many different facets to this. This is ongoing work. You'll do the first big muck out, shall we call it? And for some people, it will be bigger than others. And there are some people I would advise to do this in stages because otherwise you're going to end up hella sad and hella mad, okay? So, you're going to want to do this in stages, but the beginning, that's going to clear out so much. But then as you go in your journey, you're going to have to revisit this again in like a less deep manner because you're still going to pick up stuff. We're human beings. We pick up other people's thoughts and feelings, and we do our best to kind of navigate around them, but it's going to happen. I mean, I'm doing some shadow work currently because I've allowed myself to slip into all kinds of weird mindsets. I need to get myself out of that. And because mindset is so important to changing your life, if you can't get out of these mindsets, this self-pitying, woe is me, somebody said I was fat once, so I won't join a gym. Somebody said I was stupid once, so why bother going to get education? Like, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. And I don't tolerate that. It's might sound weird to a lot of people, but if all else fails, I will succeed out of spite just because somebody told me that I couldn't. I will use that until a healthier emotion comes along, okay? So if for nothing else, I want you to succeed and change these thoughts just to give a swift to the people who put them there in the first place, okay? I want you know that phrase, the best revenge is a life well lived? That totally works with shadow work, in my opinion. You can spend your whole life being mad at people, or you could not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm going through hormonal changes. I get angry at a lot of things, but in the main, bulk of my life, I just, try and remember what is actually true, and what is other people's shit, basically. And the problem with a lot of like these thoughts that have come from other people is they're kind of unquantifiable. Like, you're silly, you're not funny, you're the things that are actually opinions and not facts, right? And we take them so to heart, especially when we're younger, like at school, if it's bullying and stuff and things like that, or somebody we love who's just gone mean and started saying these things. And we believe them because they are unquantifiable. If your bully, if your primary school bully or your high school bully had spent 5 years chasing you down and telling you you're a sofa, or you're a loo brush, or you're a pair of shoes, no matter how long that went on for, you would have never believed that, because that physical transmission is impossible. You are never a sofa or a pair of shoes or a loo brush because you are a human being in a flesh wagon. But these things that are unmeasurable, like opinions, we take them so to heart, and it's awful actually when you think about it. This is why. Sorry, that cut me off then. So yeah, that's why, like, if you have been through some stuff, this is going to make you so angry because you're going to have lived your life feeling a certain way, sometimes years and years, decades even. If you come into this, in your 40s or your 50s, oh my God, there's going to be huge portions of your life that you're just going to be like, oh my God. So this is why it's so important, because if you don't clear that, how on earth can you have a healthy mindset to take on the rest of life? And this isn't just about like yourself, this is also about like money mindset and things like that. If you grew up in a place of scarcity, or you grew up being denied things because of reasons A, B, and C, sometimes maybe it was a money situation, sometimes it might have been a control thing from a horrible parent, if you are denied stuff, you will continue to deny yourself stuff as adults, because that will be ingrained in there that you are not good enough to have nice things. That's bullshit. We're all good enough to have nice things. Like, I might not be able to afford nice things all the time, but just as simple as, going from the smart price loo roll to the shop's own brand triple quilted, that's a small elevation. It cost you about 50p. But there are people out there who genuinely don't believe they are worth the extra ply and the extra 50p because these people told them so. And then how on earth are you going to make a success of your financial situation if that's your mindset? You're going into it already failing because your mindset isn't in the right place. And this is why you've got to get into these shadow works, into this shit that people have told you. If you've ever been married to a person who controlled all the finances, you're going to come out of that with so many weird feelings about money, and none of them are going to be productive for you going forward. So you've got to get them out. Look at what it is. Look at what's wrong. Look at actually, were you in the wrong or were they in the wrong? Go through this in your head. Like I said, there's going to be a workbook involved in this. Predominantly it's lists. Like, for me, it's just lists. But the workbook will be a bit more detailed than my sort of crazy rant that I'm doing here. But again, I cannot impress on you the importance of doing this work, of going through what you believe about yourself and finding out, A, whether those things are true, B, if they are true, are they so freaking bad, and C, how to step away from stuff that wasn't true in the first place. Carrying that around, carry around the weight of someone's opinion. Oh my God, like, especially if it's like a bully from school. Imagine that. You've been carrying around some arsehole's opinion since you were 13 and you're now in like your mid-30s, early 40s. That's going to make you mad. This is why I say, like, you may need to take this slowly if some stuff's happened to you. But also, as I talk, you can see why it's so important to do all that stuff. And not only do it for you, but you will be a better person to be around. You will be better for those people in your life. If you've got children, you will be a far better example to them because you will be working with a healthier mindset. You will have taken all those horrible little thoughts that, subconsciously you might be passing on to the next generation. You're going to wipe them out. You're going to get them the fuck out of there. You're going to fill them with something healthier that is going to make your life better. It's going to help you bloom into the person that you should be. It's horrendous, really, when you think about it, like how much we are poured into by other people. Believe it or not, when I first voted, I was a Conservative, which, just blows my tiny mind. Blows my tiny mind. Because but that's how I was raised, I was filled with those thoughts from the people around me, from the grown-ups around me. I'm admitting that right now on camera. When I was 18 years old, I totally voted for a Conservative Party. That's not okay. Well, it's not okay for me now. Do what you will. That's your personal opinion. But, that's how different I was, because I was filled with other people's political viewpoints, and I hadn't gone out into the world and seen stuff and experienced things and created my own point of view. And that's just on a very, very small scale. But when you think about things like that, more and more things will creep into your head that will occur to you. You'll be like, oh my God, yes, that's not a me thing. That's some asshole from 5 years ago thing. What the hell? Why am I still thinking like that? It's so it's, like I say, it's really, really important you do all of this work. So let's sort of go into, because I'm going to rant about this for a while. That's why I said I wasn't sure if I was going to turn it into a double episode or not. But no, I think we'll wind it down. We'll do a little bit of the basics of how the homework is going to work, and then we'll cut it off here because I'm just going to make him angry. And you're already going to be angry after you've done this workbook. So let's not ramp you up too much, okay? So essentially, like I say, it's lists. But how I do this is lists. The workbook will probably encourage you to do a list. I haven't put it all together yet, but I know where I'm going. So you can, if you've only got a small amount of stuff that you're carrying from other people, perhaps you're quite a healthy person, perhaps you've already been to therapy, perhaps you are ahead in this game in a place where I am, where you're not going to need to go as deep as you did the first time around. Put your list of your things that you're feeling. If this is the first time that you're doing it, you're going to need to write down almost every insulting thing that anybody has ever said to you that has stuck with you. So I say, this sucks. And I'm talking parents, teachers, besties, bullies, assholes that you never met again, all of that stuff. Get it out, get it down. Okay? We'll do the emotional well-being first. Then you're going to want to do one for financial well-being, and then you're going to do one for like intelligent career, that kind of thing. Okay? And you're going to write down every shitty thought. Like I say, it's rough. It is rough. And then I want you to take each thought slowly. Look at it. Look at it and see how true it is. You know, look at it and be like, okay, so that teacher I had when I was like 7, because I was really struggling to pick up reading, they just told me I was stupid. And, you know, I've never really enjoyed reading since then because of the point that she told me I was stupid. Think about that. Are you actually stupid? Do you work a job where you are competent at it? Can you, you know, read directions? Can you read ingredients? Can you live a life, you know, with the reading skills that you have? Are you actually stupid? Or is that just a skill that you struggled with that she should have seen and offered you support with? Because that's a very different situation. But it's actually the same situation. And that's why you're going to get angry, because you're going to be angry at that teacher for not helping and giving you a lifelong annoyance of books in general, robbing you of hours of adventures inside books, robbing you of lovely times on a sun lounger, reading, you know, whatever trendy novel is around at the time or whatever you're into. They've robbed you of learning, you know. It's just a comment, and you'll have been carrying that since you're 7. That's not okay. So, and I want you to work through it like that. Work through it and write down where they are wrong, or if it's something they are right about. So for me, I was often told at school that, you know, very bright, we're very talkative. And that was always like interpreted to me, talkative, as like a bad, oh shit, I'm touching my microphone again. Will I ever learn? I'm going to have to buy one of those podcast microphones that like comes in. Do you know what I'm doing? Sorry. So I was one of those kids that was like, talks too much in class, you know. I knew what I was doing. They're basically like, yeah, she knows what she's doing, but she chats too much. It was always put on there as like a negative. And okay, yeah, it might have been a bit annoying because I finished my work faster than everybody else, and then like, what else does it make me to do? I would just talk to people who were talking to me, you know. But being able to talk isn't a bad thing. Being able to communicate effectively is awesome. It's a tool that so many people lack. And yet, I had every school report when I was a kid. Put that on there like a smear. Like it was a bad thing, being able to communicate. And even now, even in my 40s, I'm still so conscious of the fact that I might be talking too much. And most of the time I probably am talking too much because I do have a lot to say. But it's still up there. That still haunts the halls up there. That I'm just talking too much. But actually, I'm just really passionate, and I have a lot of things that I want to thoughts that I want to express. You know, you don't have to listen to me. That's why I'm putting all my thoughts into a vlog, because you can choose to go, nah, and that's okay. But the people who want to stay and listen, my communication skills are what brought them here. My ability to chat is what brought them here. So is it actually such a bad trait? Not at all. But this is the kind of like nonsense shit we need to be sorting out, okay? I'm going to round it up there because I've seen, I've already done a 10-minute video and my phone keeps like cutting me off. So I think I've got like a storage issue. So I am going to wrap it up now. But I really want you to think about what I said. Maybe start putting some little lists together. Keep an eye out on the Instagram for the link for the workbook. There's 2 workbooks available already for previous episodes, but this shadow work one is going to be a big one. We might actually come back to shadow work next week as well. So I'm going to wrap this up now because I've realised, 1, it's cut me off already. 2, it's going to cut me off again. And 3, I have been rambling on for nearly 20 minutes. I could talk about this forever. This is what I say. It's so freaking important. It's so important to what we're doing, to how we're moving forward. Getting those dusty cupboards, find those nasty thoughts, get them thrown the fuck away. We are clearing the shadows, clearing these stupid thoughts that other people have put in there, and we are becoming actually who we are, not what they said we were. Because who the fuck are they to say anything anyway? Have you seen people? Anyway, sorry. A bit of attitude there, but like, honestly, why are we bothered about what people say? Have you seen people? Have you met them? I don't take their opinion on anything. And on that note, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I really want to hear from you if you're working through this. Tag me in your Instagram stories, put comments. Have a great week, and hopefully I will see you again on Sunday, Monday, again, depending on my internet connection, because it is just smashing where I live. Fine. Right, see ya.